Hi and hello, my name is Cass and welcome to my channel. It is a new month, so it is time to chat about the next phase of my 100 book challenge and all of the books I'm going to be intentionally tackling in the month of February. Like last month, I'm starting with a more reasonable number of 8 books to start. Obviously, this month I've already passed that, but better to be careful. First up, we've got another 2 books for one talk. I started the Diviner series a couple years ago. It was one of my phases where I was reading a lot, and then eventually, of course, I stopped again. But I stopped after the first 2 books, so this is the third one, and this one is the fourth one. This series is really beloved by one of my best friends. She's actually the one who recommended it to me in the first place, even though I never finished it. But I finally decided to finish the series out. So we've got Before the Devil Breaks You and The King of Crows, the final 2 books in the Diviner series. So, because these are the last 2 books in a 4-book series, I won't go into what exactly takes place and what they're about, but I will talk about what the series as a whole is about. The Diviner series takes place in the 1920s, primarily in New York, but the location, I believe, kind of extends out past that a little bit in the later books. The primary protagonist is Evie. She is a teenage girl who is sent to live with her eccentric uncle in New York. He runs a museum of the occult. Evie thinks this is weird and kind of the worst, but she especially thinks this is kind of the worst because she has powers, supernatural powers, that she is trying to keep hidden. We'll talk more about that in a second. The story does switch points of view between several of the main characters. They don't necessarily all interact with each other initially, but, they slowly get there. The majority of the characters are the diviners that the series is named after. People with magic abilities that are unexplained. Evie can sense feelings and events through, touching items. There's another character named Memphis who can heal. His brother has visions. Just all sorts of types, some of which were revealed in the later books as opposed to the first one. The first book in the series mostly focuses on Evie attempting to solve a murder mystery with her abilities because she realizes she can help. But the larger story starts to unfold then as well. It continues to unfold throughout in these 2 books that I'm finishing. Each of the first 2 books had their own contained storylines, while slowly, building onto the larger narrative, as series do. In these latter 2 books, the diviners are starting to come together to face the true threat behind many of these, dark and evil things they've been dealing with in the first 2 books, which comes from the threat named the King of Crows. Who could have guessed where we got this title from? No one could tell you. But the King of Crows has been appearing in their dreams throughout the series. He's been alluded to a lot, especially by Memphis. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to finally finish out this series. See, this is a prime example of why I try and just read series in one fell swoop, because otherwise I'll forget about them for 2 years, and I'll have to come back to them way later. Now we have a book that I talked about in my most anticipated books video. The Beast by Katie Robert, that is releasing on February 17th. It is one of the ones I do not have in my hands yet. But since it's coming out about mid-February, I've placed it 3rd on this list. I have no real clue at what point I'll get it, so I'll just be reading it as soon as I get it in my little grubby hands. Wherever that falls. Luckily, it is coming straight to my house this time. I just moved, so a lot of my other pre-orders were going to my parents' house, but not this time. Haha. I talked about this book more in depth in my most anticipated books list, so I won't go into too much detail in depth, but feel free to check out that video if you want to hear more about it. But this is the 4th book in the Wicked Villain series. It is being re-released in a deluxe edition with additional side scenes and annotations, and I just love that kind of thing, so very exciting for me. These books are interconnected standalones, all set in the same city, Carver City. It features most of the leaders of these various territories within this city. This one is a Beauty and the Beast retelling, featuring the relationship between Isabella Beaumont, Gaton, and the Beast, and how their relationship issues affect all of the wider territories. This is a romance novel, though, so the relationship is really the biggest focus, but, you know, we like to get those little bits of actual unromance-related plot in there sometimes. Katie Robert likes to put little peeks of other characters through the main character's eyes, like they all have relationships, they're all very fleshed out. In the third book, you know, we saw more of Gaton through the eyes of the protagonists of that book, which was really nice. So I imagine the same will happen here. So exciting. Next up, we have a series of 3 books. These were both a recommendation and a gift from my most beloved baby sister, and these are the Cloak of the Vampire series by Sapir A. Englard. I know almost nothing about these books, other than the summary on Goodreads, and that my sister has said repeatedly that she really thinks that I will like them. She's currently reading them too. She has her own copies of them, so I'll trust her word on this one, and we're gonna give it a shot. So the summary of the first book says it is about a woman named Eileen. She has a best friend named Cassidy, Cass, who has a large and very boisterous personality, very much an extrovert, which really lets Eileen just kind of fade into the background. It suits her because she has all these secrets that she doesn't want coming to light, and Cassidy is a convenient distraction from anyone who wants to look into her. Cassidy ends up getting killed, presumably by this vampire lord, who also turns Eileen. And this book, and I'm assuming the whole series, is about her kind of trying to get used to being a vampire now, and also seeking revenge on the man who turned her and also killed her best friend. I am getting the vibe from the back of the books, all 3 of them, that said Vampire Lord is also eventually her love interest. So I'm curious how we do that, because how we do that impacts how I feel about him and how I feel about this relationship. Because not all books pull that off well. I'm looking at you, The Coven by Harper L. Woods. I'll do a video about that one day because, oh boy, that one was rough. But these books are described as romantasy, and I really do like vampires, and I like romantasy, so I'm pretty excited to give it a shot. I do trust my little sister's recommendations. We'll see what happens. Finally, to wrap up my February TBR, we've got Iron Widow and its sequel, Heavenly Tyrant, by Zhuang Zhao. Iron Widow is another book from my most anticipated list for this year, so we're really looking for some good ones this month, so that should be interesting. Like The Beast, if you want a super more in-depth take about my feelings towards this, the plot, you know, what I'm most looking forward to, check out that video. I will link it down below. But yeah, so here we go. Iron Widow takes place in an alternate reality where boys and girls pilot chrysalises, I think it's pronounced, these giant mechas that battle aliens, which is just awesome. While boys dream about this, they're like, oh, I really want to be a pilot of one of these things. Girls usually die from the mental strain of it, so yeah, they don't exactly feel the same. The story is about Zatan, who, after her sister dies in one of these mecha situations, she offers herself to the pilot who killed her sister so that she can get revenge. However, she ends up getting it in an unexpected way, by killing him through this psychic link that all co-pilots share, which makes her incredibly dangerous to the system. I'm very excited for these 2 books. First of all, it just sounds awesome because, hello, giant robots. I did watch Darling in the Franxx, which got weird towards the end, but overall I enjoyed it and the fight scenes were really cool. And I think there's another mecha anime that I really enjoyed. I just can't remember it right now. And no, it's not Evangelion. But regardless, cool concept. But also, I've been really looking forward to reading these books for a long while. I followed the author on TikTok a while back. So it just so happens that at least when these released, I wasn't reading. So, but I would like remember them and get really excited about it whenever I remembered that I liked reading, and then I would stop reading and forget about them again. So, you know what? I'm reading now, and it is time to finally dig into these. So, it's pretty great that they've already moved up into my February slots instead of waiting until March. So, yay me for quick reading. I get to books faster. But that wraps up my TBR for the month of February. I can't wait to read all these books and give my thoughts to you guys. Are there any books on this list that you've read and enjoyed? Ones you're still looking forward to reading yourself? Feel free to leave a comment below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye!